now, and we are going live. 3, 2, 2 1/4, 1. Bet we're live. All right. Welcome today to our special episode of Talking Times, where we have Chancy and Jared from Whitetail Adrenaline. I'm gonna go ahead and let Brandon Chase here go ahead and introduce you guys.
All right, on the left here, you got Jared, the longbow, arrow slinging, deer killing Scheffler. And then on the right, you got Chancy, the deer slaying, coyote killing, lip ripping Walters.
Come on, I like it. Come
Dude,
on.
that was the most WWE thing I've ever heard in my life.
I figured you guys would like that.
Just Mark in there with a drum right now. Getting fired up.
I'm 100% bet right now I know a guy who's a really good guy. He's probably like, man, that was the best wrestling introduction
Oh,
I've ever heard.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that worked out good, guys. Jared, I mean, we just got done with the Whitetail Classic, and here we are. Jared's staying at the house a couple days, and we're gonna hang out and cook some food. And we haven't got to do that, but anyway, here we are. This worked out good.
Dude, absolutely, man. It was
You don't catch him too often, so
no.
big deal.
So speaking of the deer classic, how'd that go with you guys?
That was a great show.
Yeah.
We got. I mean, last year was the first year I've ever not made it, but yeah, we've been. How many years you been coming to the Iowa Deer Show?
Probably 12,
12 years.
12, 13. Yeah.
So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
This year was like one of the first years I wasn't able to make it as well. It really sucked, man. It's I guess they call that adulting.
Yeah.
I had an
Yeah.
adult this weekend, so
Yeah. No, it was a good show. Friday, Saturday were I thought they were very crowded.
Saturday. I missed Friday, but I got in Saturday about 10, and yeah, it was like couldn't move in there, so that was good.
Right.
So whenever I go to that Whitetail Adrenaline booth, there's always 15 people, 20 people standing there.
Yeah, we like to try to have a crowd out there.
Oh,
dude,
there
always.
is.
It's a party. I mean, it's a place where a lot of people you don't get to see very often. They come and see. It's a good place to meet up.
Oh, absolutely.
It's awesome.
And the only way I got Chancy's attention was through his girlfriend. She said, "James." He instantly turned his head and walked on over. I was like, "Yes, I like it."
She weighed me down. No, I ain't worried about it. Let you take her on a date.
there you go. Bet.
But speaking of your girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
would you like to tell us a little bit about that bino accident?
God, it was a nightmare. It took 10 years off my life. I feel it was actually, or not last season, but the season before. She's been hunting her ass off. I mean, spending tons of time in the tree, and she's just she didn't want to shoot a small buck. She wanted to wait for a good buck that she was going to feel happy about. You know, I'm saying, I kind of, show her pictures of deer. And from what I could tell, she wanted to shoot something, 140 plus, which, she just didn't want to just shoot a buck. She'd rather just shoot a doe. But a lot of the spots we were going, you go shoot a doe and jacking around there, you kind of mess it up and stuff. So we avoided that. Well, she hunted hard. I hunted hard. I got back from Kansas probably and was able to take her. And we had a little spot on public, took a boat in there. And it was an amazing spot. I've always wanted to hunt there. It's an east wind setup. Waited for that east wind. Slid in there. This is the night before shotgun season, or the last night of bow season, whatever one it is. And so I went out with her. We tried to make something happen. We got up in this big cedar tree, and I got up in the cedar tree, got the stand set up, had a nice hunt. Didn't see no big bucks, little guys, but right at last light, that last 10 minutes of shooting light, here come in a small buck. I grunted him in. He come in there, and he looked borderline. Everything when he got in there, I mean, he was probably 110. Nice buck. I mean, she's just like, I don't want to shoot it. I said, all right. So anyway, we're sitting there, and it's getting pretty dark, and dark enough that we need to probably start getting out of the tree. Well, I've been using Jared's Razor binoculars, the best of the best, and on his, so I didn't even have my binoculars, so I couldn't. When I got home, I gave the Razors back to him, and then I had my binoculars, but I couldn't find my binocular harness, so we put ours in her little zip-up bag. So therefore, I don't, I can't stand not having them. I want them right here all the time. I hate to, unzip a bag, get binoculars. I mean, you got to have this shit ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, didn't have that. We put them in her bag. Long story short, I had her climb down. We got the process out in, when I take her, we are tree stand hunting, we were using actually cedar limbs to climb. And I had her safety harness stuff up there and everything like that. But when she climbs down, I got one of those little, you guys know what I'm talking about, one of those big game harness, retractable with the little clip that you can drop stuff
Oh
down.
yeah, it's kind of like a fishing reel.
Amazing, yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's not a fishing line one, but it kind of coils back in, kind of like one of those dog collars.
Yep.
You know, like a dog leash. It goes back in. Amazing product. I use a dog leash too. Those things. Little trick of the trade right there. Don't be fooled. You know, you want to get the heavy big dog. But anyway, I'm dropping stuff down to her. I tell her to, you know, always stay away from the tree when I'm dropping stuff down. Well, I go to drop I think it was her stand. No, not her stand. I went to go drop the horns down, got them down, and then I went to get her bag. Well, I zipped up the bag, I thought, all the way. I hooked the latch on top of the bag, and I went and dropped that sucker down, and it got about a foot. And we're like 20 foot high. It was a high set to get up above the brush and jungle. And I went to go drop that bag down. Well, it kind of tipped when it hit one of the limbs, and a pair of binoculars fell out and fell 20 feet down. Three-pound binoculars.
Damn.
And hit her square in the nose and about ripped her nostril off.
How far was it again?
20 foot high.
20 feet.
20 foot high. So, I mean, you go dropping 3-pound binoculars on her head. And anyways, I just heard her just kind of, you know, scream. And I shamboed out of that tree so fast. I could have fell out of the damn tree too. But I fell down in there, got down there, and blood everywhere. I thought she was dead. I mean, she was just laying down there, screaming. I'm like, holy shit, blood everywhere.
Right.
Anyway, I kind of got my cell phone light, you know, trying to see what's going on. I seen the big old, you know, her knot, like big old cut right across here, blood everywhere. And she's freaking out. I'm freaking out. Anyway, I held it together, and I didn't tell her about the cut. You know, me with a cut here, or you know, one of us, it doesn't matter. We'll get it stitched up, man. We got a little battle. For a woman, it's very, you don't want something like that on the face. You know, they don't want that scar, or you know. So anyway, I got her. She couldn't see. She had to take her I took her stocking cap off because it was bleeding so bad. I was like, just put it up against your face, wrap your, you know, with one hand, and then I said, wrap your arm around my stomach because it's dark now. And I said, I got to get her through all this brush, and I don't, you know, twigs hitting her in the head and everything. I said, put your head between my shoulder blades, and I walked her out of there, got to the boat, had to drive through the flooded timber, and we got back to the truck, took her to the hospital. Anyway, she's connected. Her family's, you know, in the medical field, and we got her stitched up here. It was a rodeo, a whole nother story. But anyway, she had a few scars, but it actually ripped her right where the line of her nostril is. So when she got her stitches and everything, it actually, you can't even really tell.
Yeah, I seen the.
It was brutal. It was horrible, man. It was. I mean, like, what am I gonna tell her dad? Her dad's gonna kill me. I mean, dude.
Yeah, I seen the scar on Saturday, and you can't really notice it unless you're really looking.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean,
they did an amazing job on her nose.
You know what? It's kind of crazy. The first time we hung out, I took her duck hunting, and I took her hunting in this. She leaned against on my duck boat, and she leaned against where I have a copper pipe blind. It's an amazing blind, and she leaned against that and put a big old scar on her hand. So she's got all kinds of battle wounds hanging out my dipshit ass.
And she's still with you.
I don't know.
That means something right there.
She's a good woman. She's way better than me. I know that.
Not every day you can do something like that and recover.
Yeah, we're just. What's that now?
Not every day you can do something like that and recover, and I'm talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a scary deal. It's, you know, it stressed me out for a long time.
Oh, I bet. Yep.
Put her through that, you know. It's like, oh my God, and then she had to have surgery on it. You know, it was bad because it broke in there too, you know.
Right.
Had to have surgery. You got to when something like that happens, you got to let it heal. And then once, because there's so much trauma in there, you got to let it heal, and then go back and make sure everything's good. But it did break her nose too. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get that thing linked up so we can go live on the Whitetail Adrenaline page.
All right.
Trying to do it. It's,
working. Is it working?
There is a struggle here.
He's getting close, he says.
Bet.
But it's not.
Well, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be normal if there wasn't any sort of technical difficulty.
Yeah, especially with how we roll. I mean,
dude,
I didn't even have dang Chrome download on. We had to download that last minute.
So there's like 3 or 4 other people that have had to do that, and I continue to forget. I'm gonna put a post-it note on my computer. I continue to forget to say, "Hey, make sure your Chrome's updated so we can do this.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know whether to do the Chrome or the Firefox, so it
right. Normally the Chrome works the best.
Yeah, Jared had to get on there and show me how to do it. I didn't have it. See, I'm an Apple man now, but I used to be Windows.
Dude, I mean Windows and Android all the way. I'm
an Androider by far,
right.
but I was a Windower. But now that I have this computer here, it's pretty good. I just I haven't learned it yet. Once I learn it, it'll probably smoke me. But I'm an Android fan. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Chancy.
I think I found. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to be looking down like I wasn't interested in
Oh no,
story.
I was doing the complete same thing. We're trying to like sit here and like do, can't get it. What the hell?
Back and forth. I hear your phone beeping as I'm messaging.
Dude, I just turned it on silent too. And before we got to rolling, I'm like, I need to turn this back on in case Chancy calls me. And I completely forgot to turn it back on to silent. And every episode I've done, the phone goes off. Every one of them. So it's kind of one of those things like eventually it's going to happen, and it's going to happen.
You would think that we would actually know how to Facebook and Instagram pretty fast. I mean, was it right before we went live? You were showing me the feature, like, oh, this is where a bunch of messages go.
Right.
A lot of talk, not a lot of walk. We got to post a picture or whatever. That's it.
Well, I mean, there's still new things to learn on social media and how it actually operates every day. I mean, my gosh, I thought I was pretty decent at it, and then it just like every day I'm hit in the face with no, you're not.
You got to figure it out enough.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So somewhere along the line, we will figure it out.
Yeah.
So, Jared, question for you, man. You're on the floor now. So, where and why did you or did you come up with the idea? You know what? I'm gonna start a TV show, and I'm gonna name it Whitetail Journal.
It's not a TV show.
No
sponsors. None of that shit.
Hey, Mike. Yeah.
None of that. No TV shit. This is the real deal. Not every buck's 180 inches. They shoot everything. Getting stuck in mud.
Well, if you're Chancy, they're all about 180.
Right.
I don't know. What about your? You got 197 and 7/8 longbow kill.
Yeah, that even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again.
Dude,
only a 148 pointer out there. I'll kill it. I ain't big buck. I mean, I'll kill a big buck if I see one, but I'm not greedy. I'm not going to kill a small buck.
Right.
I've shot small bucks back in the day, and I don't need to shoot no more then. If I see a good buck, we're going to go after it, and if I'm happy with it, yeah, that's what I mean. It's all about part of the the heat of the moment.
Dude, that one where it's got like a really beautiful one side and then just that oblong deal, man. That deer, that's freaking cool, man. And if I had something like that come across I'm gonna let it rip.
He was cool. I'll tell you. I'll tell you a quick little story about that. Actually, yeah, grab it. I have a cabin.
You gotta go, right?
Oh, he's going. I think he's going to grab
south
that.
here. I have a cabin south here. I live up in Des Moines, and I always carry the last 2 big bucks I've shot.
Nice.
Here he is, right there.
Stud.
That's so funky.
Dude, I'm saying.
This is about an 80-inch sight right here, boys. So if he had both sides of this, it'd be 200 for
This
sure.
is the biggest head I've ever seen.
Yeah, so look at this. This will freak you out. So it's gonna be hard.
Oh my God.
Actually, so yeah. Look at this. Look how big how long this head is on this deer.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's actually hard to tell right here, but it's actually, if you lay them next to each other and up underneath, that skull's this one here is that much longer than that one.
Dude, that's nuts.
And this is like probably a 4-year-old deer. I don't know how old the damn thing is, but this one is.
This is a 180, right?
Yeah, 179. That'll be on the footage coming out that you get.
This was 2 years ago.
But
yeah, that's insane.
When I seen this deer, I got to tell you just a little quickie about it. I seen him, and I seen him way off the road. And when I seen him, he was like this, pushing a doe. So I'm like, man, I looked at him, like, man, that deer, he's 170s, 180s all day long.
Right.
I didn't see this, but he was quarter to half mile away, so
sure.
I didn't know what was going on. But then when he did look at me, he looked at me from a quarter to half mile away, and I'm like, oh my God, he's a giant. He's broke at the beam.
Right.
He broke at the top. I thought this was a drop. He was broke. Well, he wasn't broke. I watched him for long enough. I told my cameraman, I said, we ain't going after him. I'm not going to shoot a broke buck. I'll get too much shit for it, you know?
TC was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. It was like, if it had like a broke 4 or something like that, I would have went after it.
Right.
But I wasn't going to shoot a broke buck only when the light started coming up, and I seen this little tine right here, and then I was like, dude, he's just goofy. Let's go kill his ass. So we went after him and it worked out.
But
There's guys hunting this deer that reached.
It was another canoe adventure.
Yeah, there was a guy that reached out to me, and they've been hunting a deer for a long time.
Oh, no kidding.
Full 200-inch spring was a 200-incher. They said they had spotting scope pictures of him, and then anyways, he's been goofy the last 2 years, but they've hunted their whole damn life to kill it.
Wow.
And get lucky.
Dude, that's awesome. The size of that
didn't get
head is freaking enormous
Oh, yeah.
compared to the other one.
Oh yeah.
It made her happen. We seen the opportunity, and he was chasing the damn woman around, and it cost him his life.
Gotta let him roll, right? We got Logan Beach chiming in.
There's a rodeo. Jared, actually, I called Jared. I said, dude, bring me the canoe. I need the canoe to make this happen.
Bet.
He was probably 40 minutes away. He got there in 30. He didn't speed. I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen speeding tickets handed to him, so.
We got Logan Beach chiming in saying that's gnarly looking.
He got it there. I mean, I've never seen, anybody get, it was crazy. It was like, yeah, it was like dropping it in with a chopper. Like, here's your canoe, go after it. Yeah.
How long did you guys went in there? What was it?
Right.
6, 7 hours?
Yeah, we went in at noon, probably. I think it was noon or something.
You spot him in the morning, got the shot, what,
Yeah.
10 minutes before dark?
Yeah, we didn't see him bed, but we knew where he was at.
Sure.
I had an idea,
It was
gave me
thick and
confidence.
gnarly in there, and you got
Yeah.
in the feathered needle.
Yeah, it was good. Jared was up on the dance floor watching it all go down.
Nice.
I got bored after a couple hours.
Dude, that's awesome, dude. I mean,
Yeah, it worked out.
the fun always happens.
I'm sitting up there the whole afternoon. I couldn't see they're down in the jungle. I could see them guys pegged up. There was private field right next to it, but all the jungle was public. And I was like, well, this is pointless for me to sit up here and watch.
Yeah, it was a public buck. I see a little
So-
answer down there. Yeah, it was 100% a public buck, but there was tons of private around it, so we couldn't.
You couldn't go
Yeah,
in
we
by
couldn't go in,
foot
yeah.
without flushing off all kinds of deer.
Yeah, so we had to get sneaky and got in the canoe and slid up in there. And
I had
the
to
only way
do that a few years back. It was a buddy of mine and I, Brock, who solid good friend of mine. He filmed it all, and dude, it was the biggest buck I've shot. And like that one, it's wide and tall, but he only measured out 117. But I tell you, at 40 yards, that thing was a 180. And he was a stud mother, man. And I got up to him. There's ground
As long as it gets you fired up.
It does.
Oh,
Years
dude.
ago, year before I started this, I hunted some private in Buffalo County. There were quite a few other hunters that could hunt that too. But I went out and I was still hunting quite a bit of a tree stands, but not always. And there was this 8-pointer that was pretty spindly, and he was chasing a doe. And I don't know, I had tranny fluid all over my shoes and whatever. I had just got done. I was pulling a tranny, and I had like a half-hour left, and I just went running to try to cut them off and get ahead of where I thought they were going to go.
Right.
And a plan came together perfect, and that was the smallest buck I shot in 5 years on that
Nice.
private there, and it just lit me up. So it's like, and it was probably 115-inch 8-point.
Right.
And the year before I shot my biggest one there, that was 165.
Yeah. I mean, he's tall and wide, just like you said, spindly. But I mean, this other one, man, he came up out of nowhere. We had a kayak in, and we only had a kayak like 20 yards because we were completely surrounded by private on all sides. And the one guy, he didn't want us. He said he was chasing a particular deer, so he didn't want us going through his land. So I mean, it was the shortest canoe trip, but we tied a rope on both sides of the kayak. We hauled over the camera gear, hauled over the stands, hauled over everybody's bows, hauled everybody else back and forth. We spent like an hour just hauling each other back and forth. And then, I'm not a very big guy. I am 5'5", 5'6" on a good day, and I have a 25.5-inch draw. And it took me a solid 20 minutes to go from the bank to the shore into the water and get in the kayak, finally get across. We finally get in this tree, and we're facing this open field with the creek in between us. And out comes Mr. Big Man, and I let it rip, but I got him in the base of the neck, like at the top of the shoulder at 30 yards. I had to come like back down because there was a twig in the way, and we searched forever for that deer, but I unfortunately couldn't find it. But Dude, I know the feeling of you're going in blind. You're coming in hoping that you get something. You know, in this case, you guys were able to find that deer, but dude, it was a stud of a stud.
You'll have to see the footage. I won't tell all the secrets, but yeah, it was. I was in stress mode.
Dude, I can't wait.
When's that coming out, Jared?
Sun comes up. So,
What's that?
When's that coming out? The new DVD?
Well,
That's a very expensive
2029.
this man's got to live, folks. I mean, it takes so much time. People don't understand how long it takes, and we have extra amount of footage.
Right.
I mean, this kid live a little bit, you know, so it's
Yeah,
going to be a little later, but it's going to be worth it.
Absolutely.
Dude, I look like I shot that baby cap on this damn shirt.
The best. It'll be out late summer. That's what
Dude,
we're
can't
on a
wait.
pretty good schedule track to do that. It wasn't what I planned. I wasn't planning to have a 2-year out release elapse. You know, last year was the first in 14 years that we didn't have one
Right.
come out. We had the content. We had too much of it. That's the problem. But well, that and I just what Chancy said. I had to live a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to.
Have to, man. You know, you
Go
get
fish.
dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Daylight dark behind a computer editing.
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine put your life through that. I mean, you got to have a little break, but he's getting it dialed in to where he can have more free time, and this can all still flow.
This will
Right.
be your 21st DVD, correct?
Yeah. Well, it won't be the 21st season, but we got 20 box sets. So,
Right. Yep.
Back in 2013, we started doing 2 box sets a year. This one, we're just going to do one big thick box set. So it will be the 21st
Decent.
box set.
Yep.
Dude, that's
you
incredible.
were asking how he got started doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was probably around 14 when I started thinking about it, and then I was 16 when my grandmother co-signed at Best Buy for a $1,850 Sony Handycam for me. I wanted a pretty nice one, you know, and I started filming all my buddies just with turkey hunts and some deer, and did that for a few years, and then bought a nicer Canon XL2. I guess I would have been 19 then, and filmed for another 3-4 years, I think it was.
Dude,
And then
awesome.
I wasn't sure I was gonna do it. I just didn't want it to become too much of a job, which is what kind of happened. Last year, the whole you got to live a little bit factor came in there later on. But that's part of it. I didn't want it to wreck hunting for me.
Yeah.
So I 2 years before, I was thinking I probably wasn't going to do it, and then my cousin Jim and I, in that first video, we just decided, well, let's just go out and film it, just however we want, you know, like just off the cuff, no agenda, no, just
Yep.
having a good time.
Just wing it, man.
No for a 10, you
It's
know?
it's gonna be whatever it is,
Just kind of.
and then maybe we'll produce it. We'll at least film it, and then it would have been March the following, so a few months after hunting season, I lost my job. I didn't really want to work there that much anyway, which I was fine with. But anyways, I lost my job and drove back home, and I started editing all the content that was already sitting there that we weren't sure we were going to produce. And then 45 days later, I got that first project out faster than any of them, 45 days.
Nice.
But it was also the smallest content-wise.
Right.
What's the name of that one? What's the name?
Preliminary run.
Yeah. So.
The preliminary run. We're just gonna put
still
this
got
one
it on-
out here and see how it goes.
You still got it on the website. You got it on the
Oh, yeah.
website ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't even know this crazy bastard. Man.
Yeah, a year later.
Yeah, a year later.
Yep.
Make sure you all go over there and check that out. Everybody that's watching, man, that's incredible. The 21 box sets, dude. That's nuts. That's insane. Did you ever think that it would ever go this far?
I don't know how many hours.
How many hours do you think that is to produce?
The shortest one is that preliminary run.
I would have to say there's less hours than a year.
Most of them are 3.5, 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
Right.
So that's
Wow.
So yeah, I should probably add up how many hours that
that's
is.
a lot of DVD time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a mountain to produce it.
A lot of life.
You know, it's a lot of.
It took a lot of your life.
We're gonna know by the end of this project. We've never kept track of how much raw footage is there at the end of the season. I think it's gonna fall in that 400 to 500 hours. of raw content to start with, I think is where it's going to fall. So it's a lot.
Oh,
It's a
Scotty
lot.
right here, right now, owns every one of them.
Nice.
I don't even have a DVD in this house. He sends me one every year. And
He ain't got a
anyways,
DVD player. We finally had to put it on iTunes so he can watch it.
over and hey,
I don't think you do have a DVD player.
Nah.
I was gonna say like,
But it's crazy is he gives me a DVD every year, and then I watch it. A lot of them I haven't even got to watch yet.
You got a DVD player at the cabin.
Yes, but I
There you
give
go.
the DVD to somebody to watch, and they never bring it back. So I have like 0 copies.
Right.
One of these days, I'll have to steal the whole set again. And,
one of these days he'll
I'll
see
say, hey,
himself on
whenever you
TV.
need to borrow one, just let me know because I got them all too.
Just gotta return back with an autograph, right?
I have a couple autographs from them already too.
Dude, that's awesome. So, dude, that's amazing, man. Congrats to you, man. Because that's you know, I made the comment the comment earlier that you know there's less hours in a year because sure you have a 4-hour DVD, but nobody knows that 4-hour DVD probably took I don't know
Probably 12 hours.
12 hours at it. Come on, that's starting.
12 hours to edit?
Yeah, how long did it take you to edit a 4-hour DVD? Probably what?
I don't know. I don't do the editing. That's all this guy.
Well, we'll know that too. I think this project that we're working on right now will have around 4,000 hours of post-production.
Yep. Yeah, bro. 12 hours, my ass.
I give you props. I give you props.
Dude, you got these guys send.
I mean, the last project I know I spent over 1,000 hours just on audio.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Dude, I
was a little off.
I have a 3-minute video on our channel, man. It's just honestly just a small recap. I'm not talking. I threw in some cool backdrop music into it. 3-minute video, and it took me 2 months and probably over 30 hours to edit and just get that going. And I'm like, dude, that's going to be a good one. And, you know, honestly, you know, nobody understands. Like, they're just sitting there watching, like, oh, man, I got 3 hours of this. Like, no, dude, you have my life poured into that thing. Okay, that's what you got. You got life. So.
Well, that's great. But he's a perfectionist, so he, you know,
That
he's
yes.
no, yeah.
yeah,
Dude.
like he
years to edit like this guy just.
Let me
All right.
let me tell you how picky he is. I'll say, hey, send me that picture.
Right.
And he will not send me the picture unless he like screenshot it or send it to my phone. He won't do that. He's got to email me the damn picture.
And as we learned, he's really not good with that.
He's worked his whole life on this project. He wants it the best that he can the best he can make it.
Yep.
And so I can't blame him on that, but it's unbelievable. I don't do shit but hunt. Okay.
Right.
I don't do editing. I don't do
Yeah,
nothing.
same here.
In case people haven't been noticed, he's pretty good at it.
No, but trial and error. I've failed a lot still.
Yes.
But I don't do nothing. I just love being a part of what he's got going on.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dude.
me and Chance are in the same boat, and then we have the editors right here.
That's right.
What's
Dude.
that?
I said, me and you are in the same boat where we just hunt and film, and then we have the editors sitting next to us.
Yeah, I've only filmed one time.
I want to be just a hunter.
Yeah.
Dude, high five. Because listen,
Yeah, maybe.
he kills his buck this year, and he gives me the SD card, and I'm like, cool, dude. He's 10 minutes from the house. 20 minutes after giving the card, hey, got the video done yet? Bro, dude, I haven't even sat down. I just now grabbed a beer and a fresh one. 3 weeks after he goes, hey, so when's the video drop? Dude, I'm still editing. I'm still dropping edits.
Anybody that spent much time editing, I think they pretty well get it.
Right.
They pretty well understand what that's all.
Right. You know, I mean, the way I look at it is, it's like this is your signature that you're putting out. You know, like I could put a chop job and make this look real freaking Redbox style, but if I want this to look good and be good, you know, all the raw editing and everything, that's awesome. But you gotta put some freaking the grind on, man. This guy 20 minutes later, you done yet, son?
Jared. I used to film a bunch of stuff kind of with a little high Sony 8. Is that what was it? I8. I8. It was a little square camera. Well, I had the XHA one, but I had a GL2 before that, and I was just jacking around filming turkey hunts and stuff. Me and some buddies loved it. So I filmed a bunch, and I kind of knew how to run a camera. Obviously, not the damn, you know, the machines that he runs. But anyway, the first time I ever filmed with him, is when I filmed him kill the mega giant. So I did it for. I mean,
And
I
he
retired.
nailed it.
I retired after that, and I said, "Here's the
He said,
on
"Man,
the
I'm
divide."
done. I'm
I
done."
said, "You know what,
I'm
Phil?"
like, yeah, you can't top that. I mean, that couldn't have been filmed.
Right.
I planned that shot the whole time we were covied up in that damn hay bale, planning this whole. I visualized exactly how it would happen, and that deer came through it exactly how I wanted it. I knew I
Nice.
wanted Jared in the frame, exactly perfect, arrow going. I mean,
Bet.
it was a rodeo after that, but I'll tell you right now, we captured that sucker slick.
Dude,
It was good.
that's
the best
legit.
slow shot image of all time ever in history, I think. The still flip of that frame.
On a deer, it's I think it's up there. It's just, I mean, the cards came together. It's like the arrows right down the pipe, the buck's right there, and
dude, you know,
you can only plan that to a certain degree. I mean, it's just things came together. Beautiful for that. You know, obviously not so beautiful as soon as the arrow left the bowl.
right. I would say on typical, like, okay, we got a 49% chance of landing something like that, because you have no idea. Like, this deer's been coming out of this corner for the past 2 years of his life that I've been watching him every day on this corner, and then you get there to film it, you got the camera here, and all of a sudden he's over here. You're like, oh shit, this ain't working. And then you got to do something like this. You know, I mean, there isn't a single outdoorsman in the world that doesn't understand that. But that's awesome. So we've had very little of those, like, it landed perfectly. We went out coyote hunting, and this man right here is filming me. So I got to hunt, and I got to be filmed, and he's pulling out the call, dude. We weren't, what, 20
I was doing
minutes
the
in?
calling.
He was working it.
Had the decoy going, and then boom.
Song dog came running on. He goes, dog, dog, dog. I'm like, cool. And I just like shifted with the AR, and I'm like, good. He goes, yep. Bam. He goes, dude, I wasn't recording. And I'm like, dude, we can't redo that. And so we got everything up to the gunshot. Yeah, dude,
we've never restaged anything.
We've never went back and refilmed. That's just, we filmed that first one Jim and I did. Just, it is what it is.
Yep, it happens.
That format all the way through.
I mean, we produced it like that. I mean, it's what happens. You know,
that was also the first time I touched your camera too.
That it was. So. No, it was your camera.
No, it wasn't.
It was my camera?
It was yours.
Oh.
I've never, because I pushed the wrong button.
Yeah. He looked at me and he goes, dude, I wasn't recording. I'm like, you said we're good. He goes, I was good.
Record everything but the hunt.
That's right. And then, I mean, he got us, I mean, you know, he got me, we filmed it all the way going up and retrieving and everything like that. It was freaking awesome. It was also my first coyote. And, you know, it was great. What's that?
You got a pelt? You got a skin on him, a little pelt?
Unfortunately, no, because it was like all mangy. And there was unfortunately no saving. I wanted to, and I delivered the shot where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put it right below that shoulder and right below the chest if it comes out facing us. And it came out facing us. And I'm like, I'm going to put it right there where I can have this awesome freaking coyote rug hanging on the wall. It was going to be legit. I had it all planned, and I jacked it all up. And then the dog, you know, it didn't groom itself, so it was terrible. But it was a great day, man, though. I mean, it was funny looking at his face. I looked over at him. I was all pumped. He's like, nope. And I'm like, nope.
The record is not blinking at me.
So we have Dylan Nicholson. He says, can you tell us about the 200-inch 2-year-old?
I'm not exactly. Do you know what that is? A 200-inch 2-year-old. 200-inch 2-year-old.
Did we see a big one? I don't know. 200-inch. I've only seen
200-inch 2-year-old.
That's a big 2-year-old, though. That's for sure.
The only one that I can think of is back in 2010. There was that 170-inch 2-year-old that we almost got. The 18-pointer. Mm-hmm. What we called them.
Yep. 200-inch 2-year-old. I don't know if I've ever seen one, except for down in Texas. Those guys, they all them breeder bucks and stuff.
Right. I wouldn't mind seeing a 200-inch 2-year-old.
Right.
I wouldn't mind shooting a 180-inch 5-year-old.
What's a 2-year-old 200-incher turn into at 5 or 6?
Right.
Elk. Elk. We have. Right.
Do it all, and that's all we got.
Probably grows into a world record.
World record, they could possibly.
Dang straight.
Or them new DVDs, Jared.
I'm pretty. So just.
They're this week, probably video posts.
They're still right here in the brain.
That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be July, August, and it's looking pretty good. We got a good chunk of the project done. I haven't had a real good, like last fall. It's like I can shoot some dates of potentially out there, but July, August is.
It'll all work out.
Dude, awesome.
But it's gonna be beautiful. A lot more footage, so it.
Brock Williams says, just FYI, Jared, Tanner is a good friend because I tried buying one of your bows hanging up at the Classic this weekend while you weren't paying attention and he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, good thinking, Tanner.
You got Greg Schiltz here. Says, had a Tacticam for 4 years and have yet to remember to turn the damn thing on. And it's always like, right as you do that, you're like, shit.
I think them Tacticams got a record feature for the
Yeah.
previous 5 minutes.
I use it for my fishing. You can actually catch, like I can catch a fish, go back to the camera, hit the record, and it'll replay everything that just happened.
There you go.
That's cool.
Like an instant back deal?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
On the big
camera,
cameras,
you can
yeah.
to a certain fact probably.
Yeah, we only get a number of seconds.
Yeah.
So you can get that all of a sudden it wasn't running. All of a sudden, man, big giant buck. All of a sudden he wasn't. All of a sudden now he's recording. He can play that back and capture that moment.
Yeah, the camera's always recording and then it's capturing that.
Right. Yeah. I wish I knew that. There's a few hunts that I've done that I would have saved if that happened.
Yeah, I think Tacticam will go back as far as 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Pretty handy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Cummins says, just watched the 2 latest DVDs. I expected the awesome hunts. What I didn't expect was to laugh so much. Good work, fellas.
Jacob Cummins right there. He heard bull. I mean, me and him were coyote hunting.
Okay. Yeah,
he come by. He had a big
yeah.
Love you, buddy.
We got Dylan Beck. He says it was one of the first videos that you've seen like 3 times, but someone else shot it and you went there to see it. Scott missed it, I think.
Sorry, I was reading too slow. I missed that last message. The first.
Is that the one? Oh, the one with the Scott shot.
Yes, that's the one. That was it looked like a damn 200. I think low 170s is what he was in. He was a 2-year-old.
He was a 2-year-old?
One of them ones that guys see, that was a 200 incher, guarantee it. And it looked like, I've seen it. I was like, man, that thing's a mega.
Acted like a 2-year-old.
Wow.
But they had the sheds to him and sent the jar and everything.
My God.
70-inch 2-year-old.
Dude, that's a big boy. You need to find that daddy and find that mama and just go, come.
Right.
Come here.
Right. Should have killed him I should have first killed him. I had I was shooting a mechanical head there for a period of time off the Scott's bow. And I went to draw. I had one lane he was coming through, and I went to draw, and I noticed one of the expander blades had popped on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so I had to reset that. By the time I got that reset, he got through my lane, and what I thought was still a pretty decent lane, obviously on video footage. Once I seen the footage with it zoomed up, it's like, yeah, probably not getting an arrow through there, but it looked
right.
Open. Bow drive. It was a little set organized bow drive.
Actually, yeah, we did a bow drive and found him. That's how we found him in early October. We did a bow drive. He come running right by Jim and I. We didn't get a shot. No, just running from Scott doing a little mini bow drive in the timber.
There you go.
We come back. We let it rest for 3 weeks. Come back. Now we knew there was a good buck in there. And we came back that first time. I should have killed him then. And then I think it was the next day, if my memory's right. It was either the next day or 2 days later. I was filming Scott, of course, hoping he'd do the same thing, similar route, which he didn't. But we weren't running tree stands, and we just started still hunting through the woods. And an hour or 2 later, we spotted him up on a ridge, and then trying to figure out how to put a game plan together on him. And he ended up hearing a little 4-pointer chasing a doe on this ridge and come right down into our laps. And Scott hit him high. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just because we were running around, like
sure
on the ground or what. But his bow was truly hitting 8 to 10 inches high.
Oh man.
So I don't know if the peak got snagged somewhere on something.
Right, moved it up.
Why? But it was, he hit him high. The deer didn't drop. He was in water. He was in a pond when he took the shot. Like,
Get a little green.
sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. The deer lived for another month, and then a guy that had private right next to it shot him with a gun.
Oh wow.
Uh,
I mean, that's why they call it hunting, not killing, right?
Yeah, right.
right.
There's some freaking, you know, extreme, you know, hard living animals, man. I mean, they could go through a lot. You know, there's a lot of videos out there where you're just like, how is that not dead?
Yep.
Yeah, you hit him high like that, and I mean, we filmed one that was on does the next morning.
Wow.
You know, zipped right through the, you know, up in no man's land there.
Yep. That I did the exact same thing this past season, and 2,000 yards away, 8 hours later, he's walking right by my buddy, and he goes, "Hey, is that your deer that you just shot?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's him." And he's nose to the ground. I mean, he's still alive, so he'll have a funky rack this year. I'll get my broadhead back too, bet, guarantee. And Logan Winter says, "Is there any way to watch DVD footage without a DVD player? Do you guys stream on anything?"
Okay, so the latest stuff, Resurgence, that's now available on iTunes. So if you got a smart TV or any Apple product, a smart TV, you can go on there. I think it's Apple TV or something. The app, download that, and then you can purchase it on there.
There you go.
He's got some really cool things coming, so it's gonna be exciting.
Dude, that's legit.
That doesn't surprise me though. That's Jared for you.
It's Jared. We just had to
Might be-
tell. We just had to tell the guy how to share something on Facebook.
That's true.
What's that?
I said we just had to tell the guy how to share something on Facebook.
Yeah, it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to share a link, a live stream link.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all, dude. There's times where I'm looking at my phone like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. And we got TC says, will WA be selling those straw hunting fedoras on the site?
So TC
DC is a good man.
TC filmed with us last one. He's who filmed Chancy on that.
Yeah, he filmed the Goofy buck.
Nice.
So you know there
That
might
was
be
a herd bull.
Dude, I can't wait to see that. I really can't. I'm gonna.
that fedora, by the way, is 2 for 2 on stocks
Nice.
in its lifetime.
Maybe I should wear a fedora while hunting.
Right?
Dude, I'll do it.
In the grass really well.
Oh,
You were there.
Cancun jungle, where that came from.
Oh shit. What's your guys' secret when you go to Walmart and buy all that white, and then you go to a car wash and spray paint it, and
They don't make them. I mean, they make some decent stuff nowadays. They're trying to catch on.
oh yeah.
The grass stuff.
Yeah,
We just
grass stuff you got to do just make our own camo.
Yeah.
We're playing the wind, so we don't have to worry about our scent. Tree stand.
Right.
you'd think a ghillie suit works good, and it does in certain situations. Like if you're on the prairies and you're laying down, then
Right.
it's good. But if you don't, you got the sun on the other side of you. You're just a black bear on this side because you got a big shadow.
Yep.
And you get all the bunches of material, and even
Shadow.
if the sun's here, you got a big dark spot because all the bunches of material.
You look good going away from the other. The deer are back that way.
Right.
Whereas in like timber
Depending on the
or
light.
stuff like that, you got enough shadows and highlights that a ghillie suit looks great. in that.
Give you some breakup.
Hey,
Yeah.
Or if you're laying flat on the ground and you got, does that make sense with all the shadows?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No, it definitely does.
We tried running ghillie suits a bit out in the prairies, and it was like, well, if the sun's, unless it's shining right directly on you as you're going at the deer, like you're pretty black.
Hey, and
Yeah.
don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. J Rod's got a new tan crawling and brawling sweatshirt. It'll probably be on the website.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can
It's
sex
perfect
that. You can
tan.
sex that thing up however you want it.
Hell yeah.
Get all fury with it and spray it. But it's a tan color. It's what we hunt out of. Check them out
You want
right
to
now.
create your own camo. You don't
Yeah.
want to be wearing
Right.
some camo. What if that deer had an experience with that camo
Yeah.
pattern?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And now, and dude, once they figure something out, they figured it out. And it's rare that it'll happen twice.
A lot of people, what I've learned over the years is it doesn't matter too much generally what you're wearing for camo.
Yep.
The movement really, I mean,
Yeah, if you're in a,
you put all your eggs in that basket, you get really good at that, just knowing when to move, when not to.
Right.
Unless they're inside of 20 yards on you, the movement's what gets you more than.
Yeah.
I haven't found a camp yet. I can walk towards them and they can't see me.
But you got
Right.
what's that? We walk with a mirror.
There you go.
had that. I've never tried one.
No, I've never have either. But
I would be afraid that a glare would catch it just right, and like, I don't know, maybe we need to do that headlights on a deer thing. Maybe that's where we're missing. Get a mirror and just shine them in the eye. Is that legal?
No.
Blind it? Like, I'm gonna get you
I
now,
know
buddy.
some states you can go out and shine and watch deer at night. You just can't have a weapon, not even a
Right.
knife in your vehicle.
I know up in Wisconsin you can go and shine fields as long as you don't have a weapon in your vehicle. And when I was up there hunting,
Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
Each county's different.
Do not
Yeah.
look it up. Nobody's taking it.
It was back in the day.
yep. We got old Skip Peterson. Has Jared been selected for the next segment of Dancing with the Stars? Yes.
Skippy's, I mean, he's straight up. I mean, just a magnum herd bull. I mean, he is an original. You know, he is an original part of the band Kiss. If you ever heard of it.
I know this, Jared. You got my vote, buddy. I'm calling you in on the Dance with the Stars, man. I'm gonna vote you in.
I don't know. I ain't ready for that.
Are you not ready, or are they not ready?
Maybe dance.
Oh,
Skip must have heard some rumors out there. So.
Hey, dance, I bet. I mean, I haven't seen him dance.
Oh,
He's a Renaissance man. I will promise you that guy can dance.
Oh yeah.
He can dance. He's
he's a big.
He's
Kiss
probably
fan.
one of the
Kiss
best
is
at making romance. Who knows?
Dude. We've got CJ. I still like the Out of Bullets video.
Yeah, that scene's hard to beat. Cousin Jim there should have had about a 200-incher and run out of bullets. We were doing a deer drive. Good buck jumped up. We had a pretty tough hunt. I think it was day 6 or 7. Pretty decent buck, 3-year-old jumped up, and Jim, who gets a little fired up, excited, which is great. He's shooting at this buck, and all of a sudden this Magnum jumps up. But Matt Adams, the driver, had walked right by, but the buck held tight down in this grass. And Jim whirls, and he hollers, "Big buck behind me!"
Send
he
it.
whirls around, and he sees what it is, and he's like, "Oh." You know, pulls up, and I'm like, "All right." And the buck stops, perfect, beautiful. Just jumped up, and then ran a little bit, and then stopped broadside, perfect, easy 200-yard rifle shot. Jim's on some tree branch, but 200 yards.
Ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Rifle.
And he's actually he realizes, like, okay, I need to take my time here. Just give me an extra second. And click. Oh, I'm out of bullets. I got 2 more bullets in the gun. That gun was a Remington 7600, I believe is what it was. Pump 270, and I believe that gun held 6, if I remember right.
He had 4.
And he had 4 in it, I believe.
Oh my God.
He was out, and he was out of bullets.
Seen some spear chucking with a gun, probably.
That's one of the OGs too.
That's awesome, man. You want to read this one?
Me and Jim have not hunted yet, but I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to do it no more.
There you go.
Go ahead.
I need to be around you.
Yeah.
So Scott, I'm not gonna try to pronounce your last name there, but I'm just gonna offend you. But Scott says waiting for that Chancy uncuffed video.
If he lets me, he probably won't let me. I don't know.
Gotta give her the full send, bud.
Yeah, well, I mean, keep an eye out there, maybe. I don't know, one of these times,
Scott Teskey says, but are you still going to put them out on DVDs?
Oh, yeah. No, we'll have them on DVDs, even though we're going to offer them on digital platforms like iTunes, what we are now, but yeah, for sure. Still get you your DVDs.
Bet. So we have Matt Kingsley says, just sitting here waiting for a baby. Glad it popped up, bringing in the next herd bull. Real quick here. So I had Matt on the show last time, and if you guys can think of technical difficulties to the max, he took the best one, the top one so far. He's sitting in his chair in his recliner, and he's got all the deer behind him and whatnot. And I told him I was going to call him out on this. He drops his computer, and now we're just looking up at the ceiling, and all you hear is, "Oh Jesus." It was the most calm, I've known Matt for a long time.
He went out. He's done.
Yeah, he was done. It just down. And you just hear like if it was me, you would have been like, oh shit. No, it was, oh Jesus. It was like the best tagline to anything that could ever happen. And to this day, and forevermore, Matt, that's going to be in some sort of intro. It's going to be, oh Jesus. You're going to see the camera just go down. But it was hilarious, man.
Calm and collected. Calm and collected.
Oh,
It was like me going man down when I was crossing the creek.
It was. It was great. And it was live, and millions of people seen it. Millions. And then we got Dylan Nicholson saying Jim missing the buck on the bridge was hilarious.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite moments, actually.
It ran under, right? Or something?
It ran under. He should have dumped it right here at 15, 20 yards, coming right at him. And he, for some reason, didn't shoot then. I can't remember. But the buck runs under the bridge. Jim runs across the bridge and unloads the gun. Clean missing him every time. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he turns around and he's got that Jim look, just.
That was awesome.
Oh, Jimmy's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
They got Jimmy Bucks.
Jimmy Bucks. I love it. I love it. That's serious. Can you do that face again? That was amazing.
White on, but.
Oh man. So yeah, we got Jimmy Bucks, and then we got Jared's 197 inch. You want to talk about that one?
Actually, a lot of Jimmy Bucks too. Jim actually was a really good person back in the day for me to hunt with, because I realized very quickly when I'd be like, I would want to shoot a bigger buck, right? And I realized that to him hunting was like, he just had a great time and he was happy with it, whatever, and that actually was good to hunt around Jim for that reason, well, many reasons, but I mean, that was one of them. He really helped open my eyes to like, well, hunting for him is different than maybe what it is for me, and so, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just getting together with the guys, and if I shot a buck that was quite a bit smaller on accident, well,
my girlfriend told me I needed to stop eating snacks, but it's so good, honey. You make the best snacks of all time.
Oh, she was commenting on there or what?
No, on my cheap texting.
Oh.
Cheap section. You're eating. That's hilarious, dude. Hey, I eat a lot too.
Pull your taste buds out of socket, as Dan Burns would say.
What do you got there? Check mix?
Trail mix. I don't know what she's calling it yet.
Nice.
Booner mix. I don't know.
The booner mix?
I call it kicks mix.
Kicks
oh
mix.
God, I ain't listening to you, honey. Nobody gives a shit.
We got the BHB kicks mix right here. Big Herd Bull kicks mix.
There you go. Yeah.
So let's talk about this buck, man, that you shot with your longbow. That is a stud and a half, like 2 stud.
He was put on this planet to kill that deer at that time. It was awesome.
Oh, he missed that. He missed that other one. God was telling you, hey, there's a reason you missed this one. Go back to that other one.
Oh, yeah. No, there's, after I kneecapped him on that shot, there was about 8-10 things that were completely out of my control that had to come together, just right. That were out of my control entirely. I mean, you remember all the things. The ground you had to cover, no blood, all the private landowners that, 2 years before that, we couldn't even, Shay hit a buck, and it got on this one of those property owners' ground, and we had to call the game warden, and that guy still wouldn't let us go with the game warden to get the deer.
Nuts.
So, and
They
the doors just opened up 2 years later, just opened up, and pretty soon there was a 4th landowner. You remember that guy? They all just kind of like come together, and they wanted us to get the deer.
They were cool.
You did offer him beer too, so that might have helped.
What's that?
I said you did offer him beer too, so that might have helped.
All day.
Yeah.
Beer always helps my decision making.
Always.
I think
that last door that we knocked on. His ground was all posted. And you could see ladder stands and stuff from the road. Remember that?
Yeah, no,
and it was kind of like, you don't got blood. People sometimes get real.
Yeah.
Those people might be people still trying to hunt in there and just Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we didn't know if he would have had to double back
Right.
like 3-some miles, 3 point something miles.
he went home.
We didn't know if that was his home either,
Right.
Right.
but it was the last door. I was like, well, I'll go talk to him. And turns out he was the nicest guy. He's like, well, if you hit him, I explained to him, like, I don't have any blood. I hit him in the knee. I've been trying to find him for 3 days. This is the fourth. And, and he's like, well, and I said, we checked all this all around, because we covered about a 3-mile, 4-mile radius.
Damn.
Wow.
God,
And he's like, well, if you didn't find him up in here and there and on this guy's ground over here, he probably is in that.
it was an
creek
eerie
mouth.
feeling when you walked up to that house.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
it was spooky.
That's
I don't know how to
hard.
explain it. It
Yeah.
was just like it wasn't like, oh,
There was a feeling that was just both
like,
coming
oh,
over
it
us.
finally set in. This is probably where he's at.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a weird deal.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we both felt it
like,
coming
oh my
in. We didn't
God.
talk about it at
Yeah.
the time, but we
No.
were both feeling the same
it
thing.
was weird.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, I mean, at least you were able to,
Finish him off.
finish
for
him off,
sure.
and get the closure that you needed, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. The whole plan was to jump him, get a visual on him, hopefully have enough daylight left, knowing I'm probably not going to get a shot when I jump him,
Right.
and then maintain a visual. That was the whole plan. So throughout all that time I was looking for the deer, Chancy would stay in the vehicle and get on the highest point he could, in case I jumped
Coyote
the
hunting
deer.
mode. I mean, just
In
checking
case I
it out.
jumped the
There
deer,
you
he
go.
could watch where it maybe go, and the plan worked great at the end. After I jumped him, it was 2 miles before we got ahead of him.
Where we thought he was.
I jumped him 2-3 times and there couldn't get he'd get back into thick jungle spots, and then I'd jump him back out. And
Wow.
one time he was 4 or 5 yards, but the grass was 7 feet tall. I heard him
Right.
flush. And that stretch is when he went for over a mile. Then that was the third time I jumped. That was the third time I jumped him.
Wow.
And he was like, all right, I've had it. And
Right.
he went a mile. Then I got ahead of where there was just looking at the aerial, it was like,
Right.
okay, this kind of like a pinch point I could maybe head him off in, and that's what happened.
It worked.
So
Yeah.
didn't have the final shot quite on video. He got out of frame, but
Right. But you made it happen.
at that point it's just the two of us, and he was trotting, and he knew something was up then too. He heard
I'll bet.
I had to reach to my body, and he was caught. He was trotting, and he heard that there was no wind, and he heard that, put on the brakes, and I had no shot. He was a bunch of tree branches and stuff, and I saw one laying like 2-3 deer lengths ahead of him, and I was like, he knows this is the second time that
Right.
I had to. Once I seen him coming up the pipe, I had to try to get across this barbed wire fence. They had cattle on this one side, and he heard the twang of the fence. It was one of them newer barbed wire.
Oh. Yep.
I see 100 yards out coming. I'm like, oh no, I'm on the wrong side here of being able to execute this
Right.
situation. He heard that twink and he stops up in the brush. So he was on
God.
edge, and as soon as he took off trotting, I just as fast as I could just drew and let it rip.
Cherokee style,
And
double
connected.
veined him up. I mean, he was done.
Dude.
I mean, literally, tell him how far the deer went after you shot it, where you hit it.
Probably 80 yards, something like that.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Dude, and
Hit both things.
It was, it wasn't a great shot, but I mean, I couldn't have done it. I don't think hardly any faster back then.
right.
That was my one lane I had. It was about a deer length wide. I'm watching the arrow go to him, and I'm like, it's not going to get there fast enough. And I'm like, I reached to grab my arrows. I had set a couple more out here.
Yep.
Right when I got set, I reached over to grab him, and I'm seeing his front half go behind this big oak tree, and then the arrow just connected, on his hindquarters there and hit
Dude.
the artery. So.
And you
Like
said
a
it.
pig.
You said it went like 80 yards after you made that shot, and you finally went down. That's like, out of all those miles, and we'll call it miles because that's miles. After all those miles
Yeah.
of walking and whatnot, that's the final 80 right there, buddy. You're going.
Oh, so they chased that thing all over.
Yes.
What was it? Four days you guys ended up chasing him for, or was it more?
Looking for him. We
Wow.
didn't find him until that last. From the time I hit him, we ran out of darkness that night.
Right.
We had to wait 8 hours that whole day for him to cross onto public, not knowing if he would, but just deer like that,
Hoping,
you got
yeah.
a chance that he's maybe gonna. And then he got, after that shot, he went 2 miles, and we had to get permission. he ran out in front of a farmer's truck. That really was a blessing because that
He
guy was
seen,
going
he
in.
visually seen the
He
deer.
got to see the
so-
deer, and he
Wow.
seen what
Leg
you know.
pin
We were
went
trying
on,
to find his track where he crossed the road, assuming he probably went in this, you know, this guy's woodlot and creek bottom and stuff.
Right.
And that guy just randomly drove in there to check on his cattle, and that buck flushed out right in front of his pickup.
Wow.
So then we got to talk to him, and
Yep.
that helped us a lot because now
He's
you know,
visual, and he's no,
he knows
he
it's not
wants-
BS. You know,
Yeah, he
it's
wants-
like, okay, I seen the deer with the leg. This is adding up.
Yeah.
So he contacted the other landowner. Now the deer got on, and you know, really smoothed things over and made it really simple for us to get permission from that guy.
Right.
So,
That's
but then we ran out of daylight that day again, and he had looped. It was like 3-point-some miles back the other direction.
Wow.
Where we found him.
That's insane, man. Truly insane. I mean, I'm extremely happy that you're able to, you know, finally connect and close that chapter, man. Because not
Come here,
all the time
yes,
does
come
that
here, say
happen.
hi. Come on.
Come on over. Come on over.
She said nope.
Been spoken about.
Honey, come on.
Is that your girlfriend? Hey, I got your secret messenger here.
No, she's gone. She gone.
She gone. So what? You guys have been on a lot of freaking wild stories, man. And honestly, when it comes to mine, Chancy and Jared, you know, you might have even been on the same story. But what is probably the most wild hunt that you guys have been on, whether it was a successful hunt or not?
I wanted to talk to Chancy about him shooting the deer in the rack while sleeping deer in the rack.
Oh boy.
That ties right into this.
That was in the middle of the cluster. That was going on with all this.
A Kimbo question, man.
So for 2 years, Chancy had gotten take. Well, it was 2 years you'd gotten take. Didn't come out. This is your first year. You're coming out to Kansas. First 5 days, we're just stuck in a vehicle trying to find a good buck on public and can't find one. And I feel like I led him out there away from.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be on the giant. Him and Shay are like, man, there's a giant running around here, da 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 da. And I'm like, all right. I turned down all the public or private. I said, let's go. And it was all good. It was the best decision I ever made. Yeah, trust me. Once I got out, then I started kind of filling out what we were doing. I said, I like this.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting up in a tree and not knowing there's even a deer. You're making stuff happen. So I enjoy it. It doesn't matter how many days you go out there and not see one. When it happens, it's all worth it.
So
absolutely,
you kind of get the idea on video of what happened. We had 5 days not getting on anything, and it was a Saturday night. And Chancy, we probably ended up 1.5, 2 hours away, just checking out new stuff, whatever, covering ground. And Chancy's like, we're gonna go party tonight.
Shocking.
Driving prairies looking for one.
It was
big
Saturday
buck.
night, wasn't it?
I mean, all we were looking for is 140.
It was
Right.
Saturday. It was on Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we
it was a Saturday night.
we were both
Or
single.
Friday night. I think it was a Friday.
Yeah, we were both single, ready to mingle. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So we go out. We wake up probably 2 hours at least after sunup.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, heads are hurting.
Oh yeah.
no ibuprofen. Ibuprofen.
We roll out to an area I had hunted, you know, before, you know, and boom, there's Droopy.
Yeah,
He wasn't droopy then.
He wasn't drooped up at the time. But
Oh, no kidding.
That's a good
You
buck.
pegged him about a mile. It was a mile plus out. You
Yeah, on
pegged
the
him
fence.
coming this way, right towards public. He was on private.
Yes,
Remember
but well, remember
he
we
disappeared.
seen him the first day we got there and put a stalk on there and he disappeared. He got up and moved. Remember?
Oh, no.
Droopy that day. Remember the wind was howling. Our first stalk together ever. Remember on that dead end road?
I didn't think we had.
Yeah, that was him. Because we were looking at.
I didn't remember having a stock. Maybe not a good stock.
No, we never got real good footage of him, but he was on the fence line, and we put that stock and got out there, and he was already gone.
Oh no.
First we have ever crawled again. Anyway, long story. It's on the video. You can check it out. But yeah,
Shearing act.
yeah, Houdini.
Okay. So all right. So then he disappeared and
went over this hill, and we went and got in position. Where'd he go? We didn't know, and we're like 2+2. He got sneaky.
Yeah. And you figured he was laid up somewhere in the ditch system, so we just started working the ditch as best we could with the wind, and I think we were 25 yards out when
All of a sudden,
You
yeah, he
pegged
come
him.
up and was kind of stretching and looking, getting
Sleeping.
sleep. He was,
He's sleeping and he nudged his head
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, but
Oh no. That's
yeah, we
nuts.
got in there. So I'll tell you a little bit about kind of how it's on the Defiance video.
Yep.
Okay.
So you have to check it out. It was a rodeo. It's a probably not just because I'm a part of Whitetail Adrenaline, but I watched it and I'm like, wow, it's an amazing story how it all worked out. But that damn deer, he got sneaky and was laying in the bottom of that ditch. I mean, the wind was howling, and they just get down in the bottom of those little dry drainage ditches, and they just bed in there and they get their bank up against the bank there, and they're comfortable down there, out of the wind. They can hear if stuff's coming. They try to play the wind as much as they can, and they do a good job. This one here, he kind of didn't have that in factor to as good as he should have. But we got up in there, obviously spotted him. He was kind of like stretching a little bit, and this deer was literally dreaming. He was kind of like shaking, like having big buck dreams, you know.
Hell yeah.
Chasing his girlfriend around or something. Anyways, we got up in there, and I got J Rod got up on the hill because we didn't want him silhouetted, so he got up against that bank, and I was able to get in there. But I was like, man, and I went up and talked to him. I said, I could probably slide up over the top of the bank and I could shoot him literally at 2 to 3 yards. I mean, slam dunk, but I'm like, I'm not going to get greedy. I could try to do that.
Right.
And I was at the road. I want to make something happen. I mean, I got the deer 25, 30 yards right here. I'm like, I'll just shoot him right here. I mean, obviously I could go and try to get wild, which now I will do that if I get in a situation like that, probably.
Yeah.
It's just going to be an amazing type of footage and hunt.
it's intense. It's
yeah,
a rush.
Yeah. So now I'm turned on to do that. You know, it's not going to do it for me to shoot him at 30 yards. Now I'm going to have to get stupid and maybe mess it up.
Maybe mess it up
all the time. But I got up in there and I'm just like, I'm going to make it happen here. And I drew back and I let her rip, and that thing's going good. And I hit him right. I thought I hit him in the rack, but it sliced his ear, top of his ear, right on the side of his ear joint.
Oh,
and he got it shaking his damn head and got up there and stopped, and I let another one fly. I had to guess the yardage. I mean, everybody's like, well, I mean, what are you going to do? Sit there and rain? Stay there, rain.
Right.
You know, anyway, I let her fly, and I think he was 60, and I thought he was 50, and right under, and he was gone. But, yeah, we drooped him up, and, I cut his ear. And anyway, later
girlfriends after that. Every time we seen him,
he was always chasing. And then I nipple pierced him the second time I had an opportunity. You have to check it out.
Nice.
The next day.
So I ear pierced him and nipple pierced him in the same week.
It's probably the coolest deer in the herd right there.
That's the buck that we almost on that last day we put a stalk on with the horses.
Yes. Yeah, you were about that time, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, you go kill him, Jared.
Well,
I don't know.
That next day that you got a chance at him, he had a little bit of daylight left, and you were like, all right, I'm going to run the camera. Let's go. We got a little bit of time. And that's when we saw the big mega just on the back edge of some public.
Yeah.
And by the time we got back there, he was gone. We figured, obviously, he got on the private back in this wood lot.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah, dude.
They all kind of, both those hunts tied together. That was pretty wild.
That's freaking, that's epic.
Yeah, your mind's going to be going like this when you watch the Defiance. You're going to be like, what's going on here? Oh my God, you did that. Oh my God, you suck.
Didn't you throw your
motion? Is unbeatable in that amateur hour.
I said, he threw his bow down. He said, "You got to be kidding me."
That's amazing, man. I can't wait to see it.
Almost, I don't know if I think my favorite is when he punches the tree on the latest research and stuff. That's probably my favorite because it was I wasn't there for it, but it was on video. He thought Matt wasn't filming, but he had the little tiny camera going. And
I don't know. I didn't break my hand. I mean, stupid.
And you see
punching
the
a
bark
tree. I was
fly
an idiot
off.
for doing it.
Stupid
doing it.
215-inch buck comes in and
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I was going, we'll just get one next week. No,
Yeah.
I hunted my 5-day like the dark. You wouldn't even believe how much time I've spent out there, and especially how we hunt. I mean, we're daylight to dark, covering hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Oh yeah.
And see a deer like that, I don't care who you are. A lot of the deer that people say, oh, I seen 200 inchers this year. Well, most likely they're probably 170s, 180s. I'm not saying they weren't, but it's hard to come across a deer of that caliber.
All day.
Yeah, I didn't mess it up because I want to jackass around on my cell phone. I was pissed off, and I mean, I punched trees and shit.
Hey, Hey, I really hope that Hulk punch there, man, is in the DVD. But I mean, that'll seal the deal there. But I mean,
The what?
dude, I hope you got the Hulk punch in the DVD there, or on the next
Oh, yeah,
episode.
no, that's in Resurgence.
Yeah.
The latest one that's out.
Right.
I would have broke my
Most
whole
recent
hand if I
one.
would have hooked it, man. I got a swing on me. I got just a little pop right up against the tree, and I was like, that was stupid.
Joe Rogan better watch out, man. This dude's punching trees. So we got Jordan Langer says, Jared, you're killing everyone about the new DVD.
I know.
It says, tell us what's going on.
Hey, you had to wait for Yellowstone or whatever the next year. It's the same type of
They
thing.
That's
got
true.
many millions of dollars in
Yeah.
budget. I mean, this takes a lot to produce it to that stand, that level.
Right.
And some people don't, to do it right, you got to film. If you're gonna, well, not to do it right, but in this type of format of unscripted, you got to film a ton of content because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Right.
You might do this. There is no story, but then you got to write a story of all this mountain of this guy rambling on for 20 minutes about this and that and that, and make it all flow and come together. And it's just a tough environment to do that. So it takes time.
And not only does it take time, but you got, it's so easy to film something, and I'm guilty of this. So by so far as you really have to have extra battery packs, man, and extra cards, because you're sitting there rolling, and all of a sudden, your battery starts flashing, and you're like, dude, he's still 100 yards out. You better make this happen. Well, I'm sitting with a 70-pound bow, 25.5-inch draw, buddy. We're gonna miss this one.
Yeah, the cameras are running nonstop all day long.
Yeah,
So
they have to.
I'll pop another one. I mean, they're always running. It's
Have to.
Yeah. No, they run for 12 hours. The hours meters are pretty high. They don't shut off. I mean, you got to change 6 batteries a day.
Right.
If J Rod, if he ever gets done doing the whitetail drone stuff, he'll be in Hollywood. He'll be building some amazing movies down the road.
That's awesome. You got another question? You got a question you want to ask the big
Well,
man?
I want to talk to Chancy about your giving back outdoors.
Okay, hey, I'm a part of Giving Back Outdoors. A really good friend of mine, Jeremy McCarty. He is a great friend of mine, and we've been through a lot of hunting situations and different things through our lives. But he's got a really cool organization. Takes kids out, veterans, amazing fundraiser, and giving back to the outdoors. I mean, it's what it is, giving back to people that aren't as fortunate, that don't have the opportunities like a lot of us that go hunting. They don't have guns, camo, or whatever. Jeremy, he raises money to fund that, take them. It's unbelievable what he does.
That's amazing.
It's pretty amazing, Giving Back Outdoors.
I seen that on your Facebook, so I kind of jotted that down to make sure that we had mentioned that, because I didn't know what it was about or anything like that.
He's got a big banquet coming up in
March 31st.
Yes, let me look. I gotta tell you the dates of that. It's a big banquet, amazing food, big auction. It's all for a good cause. I mean, it really is. If you ain't having nothing going on that weekend, it's definitely I'll figure out the date and I'll tell you here in a little bit.
We'll put that. This video will also be uploaded on our YouTube channel. We'll put that link in the description there for everybody that's listening here and whatnot.
I mean, it's a big fundraiser. Big. I mean, last year, I don't know how many people were there. A few hundred. I mean, it was a very good turnout. So
awesome.
I'm donating a bunch of artwork there, and there's going to be some different guns there auctioned off, and all for a good cause. So,
dude, that feather artwork that you do, man, is freaking 5-star, 5 out of 5, man, 10 out of 10. Absolutely, that's amazing.
I would say all your fishing, your crankware, your snow geese and stuff, that's all on your Facebook. So if anybody wants to check that out, just get on his Facebook page, and it's all on there.
Yeah, we got a little bit of this.
He dabbles in about every area.
I'm like a Chinese buffet.
He's out there bass fishing, the best of the best in the world.
Oh yeah.
The snowbird. I've never been a waterfowl hunter, but he's just dabbling.
He's too busy editing.
Dude.
He's never been fishing hardly. Is with me. It seems like.
I didn't go fishing for a long time.
Yeah.
He took me smallie fishing.
We ripped him that day. We had a 25-pound bag that day.
We're gonna have to go rip some lips, bro.
You got your snow geese, your coyote, your bass fishing,
yeah, my mom and dad,
ruiner.
Yeah, big buck ruiner. I mean, I'm working on that right now. It's last year I just sold it online, but we're trying to get this stuff in every store across the country. There's a few things I have to do to make that happen with different things, but we're working on that. I got to get my ass to gear, and I got these 9. I'm fishing the Bassmaster Opens, all 9 of them this year, trying to qualify for the elites.
Nice.
And that's a dream of mine, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it until I make it. I ain't never giving up.
Absolutely.
But I have to work on some big buck ruiner.
You can't get it if you don't try to go for it.
Yeah, I ain't messing around. I ain't out there trying to think this, and that. I'm gonna make it there. It's just gonna. I gotta. I just gotta keep after it. But yeah, big buck ruiner is gonna be. Hopefully, we'll get her done this year, and where it's in every store in the country. I don't. It's gonna take a lot of work. These things take a lot of work. We got a patent on it, and I have to make it happen. I got to get my ass in gear.
For those that don't know, what is big buck ruiner? Let's let it
Big buck
rip.
ruiner is a cover spray for hunting. Especially for like we don't really even use it doing what we do because we're playing the wind on the ground. But I came up with a product years ago when I was young, and I actually have a process how I bottle this stuff, and it makes it smell like a cedar tree. It's all natural, and it works amazing, man. I've had tons and tons of success with it, killing big bucks downwind, and just covering your scent up
Yep.
just enough to maybe where they're. Because you're never gonna completely cover your scent. I feel.
Correct.
No.
So you can cover it up enough to where they
Might buy you.
might buy you a few seconds, or because here's how you look at it. Here's the best analogy I can tell you. Let's say you're hunting a 1 by 2 mile section, okay?
Yep.
How many houses around that section? You got people stinking, farting, cleaning, cooking,
All of it.
dog shit, everything all around the section. And deer smell people all the time. They just know how to tell if it's too close or out of the normal area. Or,
Right.
like, okay, they just know that type of stuff. So if you can just break your scent up just enough, and I feel my product is one of the best out there, it just covers you up enough to where you can have that extra 2 or 3 seconds or cheated a wind. We're like, that's probably up there at that house,
Yeah.
just saves you. It's the icing on the cake. You still got to wash your clothes, do all that, keep clean, and all
Right.
that, and dress outside the truck. If you want to take stuff serious, you got to do it. But
That's
it's
what
just
that's what I do.
flim flam on you. It just covers it up, and it smells like cedar, and it works. But I got some stuff coming up, make you smell like pines, because there ain't cedars everywhere, but in the
Right.
Midwest, cedar trees mostly. In every situation. A lot of people are like, man, what if I don't got a lot of cedars on my property? A deer has never been scared of a cedar tree. I'll promise you that.
Never. As a matter of fact, they might
Right.
even come out to investigate. You might have something
Yeah,
coming up from behind you that you don't
right.
know about.
I'm proud of the product. I mean, I have. You wouldn't believe all the messages I get from people that are like, man, I killed my biggest deer. I believe this stuff. I won't go hunting without it, and all that. It's something that another thing to give you a little more confidence.
There you go.
So,
It helps, man.
believe it.
Every little bit helps,
Get it.
man. And if you think
Hopefully
about
you
it, so just ask you, how much do you sell a bottle of that for?
It depends. It's around $11 to $13.
So if you think about it, are you really gonna let $15 stand in your way of smoking a 180, 200 inch deer? I'll spend that every minute of the day. I've
Hey,
spent
trust me,
$100 on
I-
dumber shit, and I will do it. I will send every bit of every chance that I can get just to do it, just to make my chances better. I really can.
Well,
Hey,
hey,
you
let me.
look at a lot of hunting today. How much money gets
Dude,
tied up in different things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Little, it's there's certain things that I just will not be without. And then there's certain ones that you shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're playing end game. And like he was saying, on the ground we can manipulate the wind. Most of the times.
right.
To work for us. But when you're playing stationary,
Yeah, you got
you
to.
know,
You gotta get-
And even you still play the wind, but I've had situations where, let's say you have a block of timber. This is going to make sense. So let's say you have a block of timber, and those big bucks. I mean, most of the time they ain't going with the wind. They got their nose into the wind, or they're crosswinding or whatever. You hardly
Yep.
ever see one not even. I don't care about the wind. Just kind of lollygag unless they're on trying to. They're trying to catch a trail on a doe they lost or something like that. But if they're on a cruise and they're not on a trail of a doe or whatever, they're playing the damn wind.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times you're set. A lot of guys will say, "Oh, I'm going to set on this side of the timber." Well, they're a lot of them are in there and working the wind and cruising away from me. I mean, it sounds stupid, but I can't tell you how many times where I've just went out there and hunted, did the opposite of what you really want to do, and I got out there and got high enough in the tree, and I didn't play the wind. I played the wind for them, and that's when I killed the biggest deer.
Yeah.
So you give them the wind, and then
Right.
they feel wherever they're going, and then if you can cheat it just a little bit, and then have your scent game on point and the best you can. I mean,
back in the day when I used to tree stand hunt, it was like, if that spot's hot, I'm hunting it. I'll figure out how to cut it or whatever, and in the event that it, they got me first, that's part of the gamble. But if it's hot, you gotta hunt it. You gotta find a way to get in.
You gotta figure it out, because if you're sitting on the couch, you definitely ain't figuring it out.
Make it happen.
Back in the day, I saw that too. You wait for the perfect wind. I did that for a period of time. Wait for the perfect wind. Nah, the big mature ones, they generally are not gonna come down the pipe the way that you.
Right.
Once that wind switches to where it's perfect for you and not them,
you make it happen.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
It does. It really does. I mean, that's a whole new, because I'll sit there and I'll look at the aerial maps of some public before I walk in, or the private that I'm on. Doesn't matter. I'll look at it like, man, the deer for the most part from this area, but then there is a booner in there. And if I mess this up, it's done. It is done. But if I get in there and do something about it, I can't say I didn't try.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give it a shot. I might ruin it, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So, well, folks, that puts us right at the wrap of our show for the end of the day. We have to honestly say goodbye. I don't want to. It was an absolute hoot and an awesome deal to have you guys with us today. Thank you for the honor. Jared, bonus man, it was awesome. Chancy, great to have you guys. Dude, it was...
He about an hour before, he's like, hey, I'm doing a podcast tonight. You want to jump on?
Well, I was pretty much told him, I said, yeah, you're going to jump on this thing with me. I think it's going to be cool. So,
yeah, no, I got the message from Chancy. He goes, hey, Jared's here. Is that cool? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, cool, because I have a guy. So, yeah. I mean, it was absolutely awesome having you guys.
Well, thanks for having us, man.
Dude, absolutely. Thank you all for that. Enjoyed, commented, liked, and everything, man. This was absolutely freaking wonderful. And honestly, probably the better turnout that I was really honestly kind of afraid of the turnout, because I didn't get to do any advertising for this. I'm like, oh boy, this might be a crapshoot. These guys are going to be like, man, look at this.
I had no idea until 5 minutes before. Just a podcast, or 10 minutes maybe before. It's like, oh, we're doing live, sharing it on here,
Yeah, and I got so many things going on right now, different things, and I about forgot again. So
hey, it's that style that we're used to, man. You just gotta wing it. You just got to wing it, man. I mean, dude, Brandon prepared some notes and some questions and whatnot. He goes, hey, so what do you want to talk about? I don't know. We'll send it. We'll wing it, man.
Not to sound like a homo or anything, but I'm a Chancy Walters fanboy. Dead honest, man. I had everything written down about your big buck ruiner, your snow slayer, your Yodi gear, your crankwear, your turkey reapers, Walters wildlife art.
Hey, don't skip the one that says your underwear.
Yeah, right. Man, I had everything written down that I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, we'll have to do another one sometime.
Dude, absolutely bet going to happen. I hope Jared has a chance to join us too, or any of the other guys. Man, it was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, longbow king right there.
That's what I'm saying. I can't wait, dude. We'll absolutely be doing this. We're going to be following Chancy through his Bassmaster quest and whatnot.
Oh yeah, good luck with your bass.
Right.
Your bass tournament, man.
Thank you.
We're going to be following Jared with his DVD success, and we're going to get that out there.
Comes out.
Absolutely. Look at that boy.
What's up, buddy?
I can't wait, man. And for everybody that was here, thank you for joining us. We'll definitely have these guys on again soon. Maybe he'll even get his girlfriend in here. Who knows? I mean, Brandon's in her DM, so.
I'll get her talking. We need to do one on her bow hunt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll blow your mind. We're not going to talk about it right now. See you guys later.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks.
Y'all make sure you head on over, give us the page a like, give the Whitetail Adrenaline a like, follow everything, the Insta, the YouTube, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time here on Outdoors Obsessions, Talking Tines. Thank you for joining, and peace.
Appreciate it.